Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. Before we dive into today's topic, I would like to share a quick note on why the three of us are we today here. For many years, we have shared a common home and a shared pride. We are active members of the club, the Marketing of Málaga, an organization we genuinely consider to be the best marketing club in the world. I was in the Cludan approach and proposed that we take the stage at DAS 2026. It's for us a really honor. Please grab your hands for receive to Vanesa Delclos, my partner today, one of them. Brand and marketing and communication strategist and advisor, PhD researcher, journalist, speaker, and writer. She's freelancer. She used to work hard on brand marketing and communication, strategist and PhD researcher at the University of Málaga. Now, please, we receive, grabbing your hands again, to my friend Inmaculada Ruiz Rubio. Bachelor's degree in tourism, master's degree in teaching, specializing in tourism and languages, advanced program in digital marketing, ESIC business and marketing school, academic and professional focus, corporate sustainability. Okay? So we invite, please to take seats. Well, we will start this meeting, first of all, saying thank you all for being here today. And we are start talking, and to set the scene, for years, we have focused on metrics such as impressions, clicks, reach, or conversions. Yet today, the conversation seems to be moving towards broader measurement models. What is really changing and why?
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me here today. It's a real pleasure to be part of this challenging conversation because, as you say, many things are changing and we are moving toward from attribution to contribution.
That's the proper contribution. Somebody has something to say about that? Contribution. Nice word. Your experience.
Yes, well, I want to add, well, thank you to introduce me. I want to add what's changing is not only the tools, but also the questions that we make. I mean, we used to ask for how many clicks, who has clicked, how many people have bought, how many channels have been used, but now the question has been changing to we want to know what actions really generate leads or sales. So maybe we go from the amount of leads that we need to exactly what actions are we taking to make more leads coming. So I think that's what's majorly changed.
Nice. Many organizations have more data than ever before, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they make better decisions. What is the difference between having data or having actionable business intelligence?
From my point of view, I think marketing has been for many years focusing on analyzing data, information, generating systems that are reliable to track, to attribute. But as we get more sophisticated in analyzing, and AI is supporting us on this, I think the scarcity comes not into the data environment. The scarcity is going to come into the judgment, because having information is not the same than understanding. And better information beats more information. So what leaders and organization needs is to actually scale their judgment, not their information. This is my take on this.
Yes, I think it's about connecting metrics with decisions, because maybe, as you said, leaders or directors of the company do have a great dashboard full of information, full of data, full of indicators, but they're not useful. I mean, again, you have to get to go at for it's useful for you, because sometimes there's a lot of data out of context, right? So that's why we need to use the data for what we really need to. Where are we going? Where is the strategy going? What data are we using? Because sometimes we have so many data that you don't know exactly what to do with it, actually.
That's the point, that we have a monster upon us that is the conversion, the lead conversion. So we can go through the next question. If we think about a meeting between a CMO and a CFO, they will probably have different definitions of success. How can modern measurement approaches help bring those perspectives together?
Well, I think historically the CFO and the CMO has spoken different languages. And the problem is that they put the focus on different parts of the path. And I think as we move forward to having more metrics, the bridge between both worlds is going to be value creation. Because value creation is what works for both worlds. So value creation is what makes the CMO to sustain their performance, and value creation is what is going to make the CFO to sustain their cash flow in the future. So for me, the bridge, it comes to value creation. That's the language that both areas of the company should focus on.
Yes, I think we all agree that we have to have happy, we have to make the finance director happy. So there is a question that the marketing has to find a way to answer, which is which investment that we've done in marketing is going to get more profits or more conversion or whatever, more benefits in the end, no? So the new methods like the marketing mix, or for example, incrementality, they go to answer that question. I mean, it's marketing used to ask for more leads and more visibility, and finance wanted more return, more benefits, or whatever. So but we need to get that question that answers both of them. Right?
One of the biggest challenges remains proving which actions actually drive results. Are we getting closer to solving the attribution challenge, or do we simply have more sophisticated tools to interpret it?
I think the future is about integrated systems. So there is no about one modeling that is going to give all the answer. And also, it's about the objective and the question, as Inmaculada was referring at the beginning. My take on this is, are we really measuring what matters? Because there are some attribution methods that really just measure what has happened. But are they able to predict what is going to sustain the future of the brand, of the company, of the competitive advantages? So I think we need to invest more in models that really give metrics of what matters, because sometimes we are measuring what is easier to measure. You know, attribution is easier to measure than, for instance, perception. And perception influences trust, and trust influences pricing power. And this is going to sustain your market share in the future. So are we really putting the focus on the metrics that matters?
Yes,
that's my take on this.
The attribution has a problem nowadays that that we don't know the customer journey as well as we used to, because of the privacy settings and everything. So now we have to move into other methods that are, are more valuable for us. No, that's why we have the experimentation. That's why we have the causality and so on. I mean, attribution is okay, but we have to move forward.
Exactly, and also, what are you going to measure? Because there are models that are better for measuring behaviors.
Yes.
Other, like, for instance, incrementality is good for measuring behavior and value, and also incrementality. Perhaps marketing mix is better for measuring just value creation, and attribution just for measuring performance.
Yes.
And what I normally like to put on top of the table is that you need to follow the whole path, because there is a value creation chain framework that can give you all the answer, because normally we focus on the last step, which is performance. But before performance, there is behavior.
Yes.
And before behavior, there is perception.
Yes.
Are we measuring those metrics? Are we really following the needle in the right path?
Yes, and I think that we all pursue the quality of the data, because in the end, that is the strategic advance of a company. So we all need to know which data are we going for, no?
Exactly.
More than ever, I think we can use more the word mix, marketing mix, because I think we are testing a lot of things that are doing good job, but we cannot forget the old-fashioned marketing.
I think there is no old or there is no new. There is just what works. And depending on the question, the answer are going to lead you to one model or to another. My take is that we're moving forward to more resilient, integrated measurement system, which means I'm going to use one or another depending on the question that I want to answer. And the question you want to answer is not going to depend on how much data do you have. It's how much discerning clarity are you having to set the right question. Because now we are surrounded by noise. And the competitive advantage is going to be signal, clarity.
Reputation.
Reputation is part of the value creation, as it is trust, advocacy, brand consideration. So the key is not that it's difficult to measure. It is that we choose to measure which is easier, which is the attribution, the last part of the chain, the performance. But there is a chain that it follows, because perception, for instance, as you mentioned, impact behavior before behavior appears on the dashboard.
Yes.
So if you don't follow what is causing your performance, you don't have the answer.
Yes, and don't forget the money. Not all companies can invest in 3 methods. I mean, if you don't have enough money, or you don't have a lot of money to invest on marketing, then you have to go for the easiest method for you. I mean, maybe it's just, geo-experimenting. You have to try a product or try a campaign in one province and not in another, because you have no money to do marketing mix modeling or whatever, right? So what works better for you?
Yeah, of course. You are limited by your resources.
But good.
But in a world where resources are becoming commoditized, now what it matters is your capacity to set the right question and the right judgment and the strategy. Because sometimes numbers are liars. Sometimes you have a campaign that have a better campaign of another company, but you need to see what is the cost of those numbers and how those numbers are going to predict the sustainability of those numbers in the future. So you cannot isolate numbers, because it's very important, the context. Context is very important, because you might have, for instance, a campaign that gives you 20% result and another that gives you 5% result in sales incrementation. And but how much it costs you to obtain this? Yeah, it was a pull or push strategy. Is your brand capital driving those results, because we have tangible number, but we have intangible drivers. And those intangible drivers are even more important because it's what driving the needle forward. And I think we should move forward to really follow the value creation chain rather than the performance.
The long-term marketing that we always talk about, the long-term marketing. Of course, we need results as soon as possible, but the long-term marketing will define the complete success of our product. Artificial intelligence is entering almost every area of business. From your perspective, is it helping organizations measure better, or is there a risk of creating more information that we can effectively manage?
I think artificial intelligence can identify patterns that we didn't see before. We haven't been seeing those patterns. And of course can analyze scenarios at high speed. And again, as we have said before, the problem is that it gives us lots of data, and we have to see which part of those data is useful, right? But we have, artificial intelligence now cannot make strategic decisions. It will be able to in the future, but not now. So right now it's a tool. It's a tool to get the information, but we cannot rely completely on artificial intelligence. But we have to adapt our methods using the artificial intelligence. I mean, it's so easy, right? So to make a model to work with artificial intelligence templates or whatever, but we have to be careful with that.
Yes, I think artificial intelligence is going to fuel standardization, is going to fuel, let's say, getting everywhere and everyone more or less in the same page. But then here come what is going to be the competitive advantages. If we all have the tools, we all have the data, we all have the power and the fuel that takes us forward, how are we going to stand up in the crowd? And I think this goes back to something that sometimes performance forget, which is the brand capital. The brand capital should be part of the language of the CFO from the beginning. As I said, value creation is a bridge between CMO and CFO. So as we move forward, this is going to be the competitive advantage.
We have 25 seconds. Let's imagine there are business leaders in the audience who want to review their measurement strategy. If they could make only 3 changes tomorrow, where should they start?
Take one each, please, because otherwise we're out. So one each. Inmaculada?
Yes. I think that they should go through they have to look for reputation, credibility, and use the tools that go with that, with the reputation and credibility of the brand.
I will invite leaders to understand that measuring more don't mean being more successful. I will invite them to really find out where the impact, the trust, and the value creation come from, because people lead, and also machine is going to learn this from us. So we really should teach them what to look for.
We should teach them properly, yeah?
Yes. Thank you very much, all of you,
Thank you very much
for being
for
here.
this panel. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, and we invite you to be part of the Club of Marketing anytime you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Big applause. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you very much.